guys, so today we're talking about the best-selling cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's just jump right into it. Crazy, super, duper, awesome, fast. A lot of these cards, let me do this. A lot of these cards appeared on the penny stock market watch. So what I'm actually just going to do, I'm just going to go to advanced search here and just change the criteria from less than to greater than, just so we can get an idea as to what some of the better cards are to buy that are above $5, or different boxes and stuff like that. If you guys want to check out $5 or less, make sure you guys go ahead and check that out in the on my page on the different playlists. This is actually should be all in one playlist. Market watches are on one playlist there, and I think this is just what I'm going to do going forward, because a lot of times when I do these market watches, it ends up being a lot of, I talked about this card on the penny stock, this card on the penny stock, so I probably from now on will just do $5 and up. The penny stocks will be $5 and below, and then the regular market watch will be $5 and up. As we see, Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus, the Sky Thunder is here, ready to rock and roll. It had a very weird reason as to why this card went up in price, with that reason being Kashtira is the best deck. Now, I know Kashtira is an Xyz summoning deck. I don't think they make this card too often, but they can, obviously. But the main reason this card is so popular right now and is the best-selling card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because you'd never needed a second copy of this card until now, because it's such a great card against Kashtira. The Kashtira player would be kind of silly not to get rid of the Zeus, right? But it's interesting, because if you run one Zeus, they're going to snipe the Zeus when they snipe from your extract. But if you run two Zeuses, they're probably not going to touch either, right? So it's all very interesting. I think this card's a fantastic buy. If we look at all versions and try to find what the best buy is, I think we all agree this has the most potential. Once we get past, this is an English version. Interesting. For $69.99. Well, I guess that's basically 68 plus 5, which is 73. So it's actually just as expensive as all the other ones. If you're able to get the ulti for 70, that's a huge positive. I could definitely see the ultimate rare version of AA Zeus being 100 at some point in its lifetime, and so that's super free there. I believe we can run the German versions. I think it's just the OCG, and technically Europe is in the TCG. Good luck selling this, but hey, if you're able to get this for $66.49, $66.50, and sell it for $70, and I know it's a light play unlimited, but there are no first eds, by the way, of this card. But if you're able to do that, by all means. So that's definitely the one you want to look at. But I think all versions of Zeus are really, really good buys, because of Kashtira. As long as Kashtira is really good, and it's a really good card in general. Like, there's, that card is always going to be useful. It's always going to be needed. It's always going to be good. Like, there's just some cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! With what their effects do. Like, as soon as Exton Knight came off the ban list, and this card kind of power creeps Exton Knight to an extent, but as soon as Exton Knight came off the ban list, it started to see play again. Like, there's just some cards that just are just always going to be good type thing. We talked about the Ninja cards. We talked about Gigantic Sprite. Let's talk about this card, Dragoon. I believe there's still only 2 versions. There's 3. Oh, that's right. I forgot that this version existed. Let's check out, so that's interesting. Let's check out Starlight Rares Dragoons, just real quick. We've talked about Starlight Rares before, and this is most amount of value. I mean, you're talking about a month ago, this was a $238 card, and now we're looking at getting $100 over that, right? So that's the interesting thing, because most of my market watches on this channel have been penny stocks. That's kind of where I like to lean, the budget type of stuff, but you kind of got to weigh your options. You could spend $200 on a 50-cent card, so that's $100, or that's 100 copies of that card, or you could spend, well, I guess 200. Let's say 300. You spend $300 on a 50-cent card. You get 150 copies of that card. It goes up to 55 cents. You sell them all for 55. So you made 5 cents per card, which 150 times 5 is $7.50, right? Which isn't terrible. And it's only moving 5 cents, right? But 5 cents is a lot. 50 to 55 cents is a lot. Whereas you could buy this card for $300, wait it out a little bit, and it potentially hits 350. So it's all its own perspective. Like, if you want to spend, because here's the thing too, like, expensive cards are harder to sell because you have to find, you're going to have less people who are willing to buy. You know, if a card was 50 cents and now it's 55 cents, that's not really a lot for individual people, so it's probably easier to sell that. But at the same time frame, it's a lot harder to sell 150 copies of a card than one copy of a card, right? So I don't think right now Dragoon's the best buy. We looked at the Starlight Rares before. I think it was a Photon Hypernova. We can look at just all Starlight Rares in general, but just because the Starlight Rares are more expensive, that doesn't mean that they're bad buys for markets. They're just a little bit riskier because a card is never as expensive as it is on the market. It's only as expensive as it is when you can sell it. If we look at the other two versions, the 2022 Prismatic Secret Rare version is more expensive and has less listings, and it's technically, I wonder if it's actually more expensive, because this is I hate when TCG Player does this. Never just click this. Never just click the first one you see on TCG Player. I don't know why they can't just show the cheapest listing, but looking at about $26 for the Ultra Rares from the 2020 tins. It was the first printing. That was pretty crazy that it was just an exclusive card. This version, however, the Prismatic Secret Upgrade, is a little bit more expensive and has a little bit less listings. If I were to invest in Dragoon, this is the way to go. Predaplant Verity Anaconda is obviously gone. So the way that most people are obviously using this card is Fallen of Allbass. But you can also use this card in a Red Eyes or a Dark Magician deck. Because that is what this is. This is what the card is designed for, and that's what's interesting too. You can use like that Dark Hexiel or King of the Swamp, a lot of different cards, and a Dragon Effect monster, right? And the Bestials are still really popular. So you know, if you're say running Fluffles, for example, and you're running Fluffles isn't going second deck, so you could argue running Bestials, at least in the side deck, but even in the main deck. And then all of a sudden, you know, your opponent passes turn back to you. They're not probably expecting you, if you're a Fluffle player, to be playing King of the Swamp. You just play Poly, sending King of the Swamp and the Bestial card, and you just get a Dragoon on board. And then you can do your Fluffle plays. Obviously, you're using 3 cards to make 1, which isn't fantastic. But the reason I bring that up is because just because Verity Anaconda is gone doesn't mean that this card is pigeonholed only to its specific decks. It can actually do a lot of different things. I think it's a fantastic buy. I don't think it's FOMO, but I would be wary. Like right now, it's sitting at about $25, $26. Maybe wait like a week, see where it is in a week. Maybe wait maybe a month, see where it is in a month. And then go in, that type of thing, because it could, and that's a risky game too, because obviously it could go up to like $30, $35. I think it's already done its big jump. I think at this point it's going to be finding where its place in the market really is. But Dragoon is a pretty good buy as far as I'm concerned. Let's take a look at these, because I mean these are the top 24 best selling cards over $5. Well, actually top 22, because 2 of these are not cards, and 2 of them are Crossout Designators. Crossout Designator is just this card that took a while to get going, but is starting to see play, because there are just some like Sword Soul, hard loses to Nibiru. Ash Blossom Destroys branded. And the thing is too, if you are playing an ultra meta, if you're playing like cash tier branded, those seem to be the best. Labyrinth, you can still play crossouts. Ash is pretty good against Labyrinth as well, but really it's the mirror match that I'm talking about. So my opponent loses their big welcome Labyrinth, or my opponent loses their branded fusion. Like there's a lot that you can do with this card. And that is why we are starting to see it come back up. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you look at where this card has been, over just like the last year. It was at like 30, 40 bucks, super high, when it was the tin exclusive. But then people started to realize we're not really going to run this card. And then it started to go back down. And then people were like, well, we could run this card. And then people were like, oh, well, there's going to be a reprint in the 2022 tins. And now people are actually playing this card. And when we take a look, we're sitting at about $10. What's that? Synthesis Games, or no, excuse me, Gamer's Choice, has light plays being sold for 293 copies at $10. So move the decimal point over one. You could spend $3,000 to try to buy that out. So there's a lot, and that's the thing to always double check. 85 listings to 115 listings. So you would think out the gate that there are more copies of this card than there are of that card. But then when we double check and we come down here, we see 1,250 being sold by Lumina. Goodness gracious. I would still pick up on your play sets, though, just to be sure. Because here's the thing. Okay, yes, Gamer's Choice has 334 copies of this card, right? And there is more copies of this card than the other. It's a newer card, too. So we actually know it's not. It's the older card, but it's the lower rarity, right? So it makes sense. But all they have to do, right? Lumina, for example, they had like over 1,000. Because it's really easy, right? Through the seller portal, if you've ever sold on TCG Player, all they have to do is go over, click on their, my inventory only, go to Crossout Designator, click over, change that 8 to a 10, and they've just manipulated the market, right? So it's not out of the realm of possibility that this could still go up in value, even though there's so many copies available. I think this is going to be a $10 card at some point very soon. But like I always say, every market watch, you spend your money how you feel. If you don't plan on running this card, like that's what I would do. Like I would get a play set of it just to play test with it, see if you like it, and if you don't like it, sell it when it hits $10. That's kind of how I feel about Crossout. I don't think it's sort of a thing where you buy a bunch of copies because it's going to go up in value. I think it's the type of thing where we just buy a few copies just to see if we like it. Then we got Pot of Prosperity. Still 2 copies, Blazing Vortex. The Megatons. I would sell this, sell. Even though when we look at the graph, I love that TCG Player added the graph. It used to be 45, now it's 58. It is the best legal pot card in the game, but Avarice and Desires can do a lot for you. Extravagance can do a lot for you. It's really, I never thought this card was super worth it, and I definitely see a situation where it'll get a reprint sometime soon. But do be on the lookout. I think that just because the reprint comes out doesn't mean it's going to be like a $4 card. So if you want to play that game, there's nothing wrong with attempting to play. I wonder if we can make this even smaller. Okay, never mind. There's nothing wrong with attempting to play this game. Like, if you bought this on March 7th, on March 8th, you were probably disappointed because you said you bought it for $59 on March 7th, and then you see it's $58. But then we come here to March 10th, and it's $59.40, almost $60. Right? If you want to play that game while you're up here, you're more than welcome to do that. But I definitely think a reprint's coming sometime soon. So just be on the lookout for that. If you already have your play sets, a lot of times players will do this where they will buy a playset of a card just to play it for a tournament, and then that'll be the end of that. I think that's kind of where you're at with Pot of Prosperity. The next card I wanted to talk about, we actually just talked about this card, but like I said, since Evil Storm Exciton Knight came off the ban list, it has been a very popular card. It's Zeus has a requirement, and sometimes it's really easy to get that requirement off. You just have to attack, and sometimes it's kind of hard. It's a little bit harder to do so. And the thing is, too, about Evil Storm Exciton Knight, it is older than Zeus, so it doesn't have as many listings available. As we look at the one with the lowest amount of listings, only 31 listings of this card, and board wipes are just crazy. Like, this card is always really good, and what this card does, it almost kind of rewards you for playing bad, right? So like you can only activate this card if your opponent has more total cards in their hand inside the field than you do, right? And the idea behind this card was it was supposed to be like this great equalizer, where you're able to, like someone else sells Teller Knight Altier, someone else, this was like obviously way back in the day, but someone else said Teller Knight Altier, someone else Deneb, Search Vega, or whatever, and then make Exciton Knight board wipe, and then just move forward with your day. It does have a lot more restrictions than Zeus, right? It destroys instead of sends, which is huge, actually. Like, there are a lot of different random interactions where sending is better than destruction, because sending plays around floating, whereas destruction does not, right? But I think that you should probably try to pick up at least one copy of an Exciton Knight, but right now might not be the best time to do so. I mean, these are the first sets. Are there even any unlimbs available? There's not. Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look at the other versions, actually, of Exciton Knight, like Battles of Legends, Light's Revenge. This could potentially be a good buy, too. It did just dip down. You'd like to have gotten it here when it was $3. It got all the way up to $11, and now it's slowing back down to $8. I could definitely see all copies of Exciton Knight being over $7, or over $10, excuse me. Certainly over $7, but over $10. EF Market's got $7.84 at 18, $7.97 from TCG's West. There was like 11 of those, I think. But really, not a lot of people are selling, like, certainly not like Crossout, where we saw like 1,000 copies or 200 copies being sold by individuals. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that you could buy that card out. However, I think if any version is going to be bought out, it's going to be the original version, right? The Legacy, I don't know why that happened. The Legacy of the Valiant version, or the Secret Rare Megaton version. Like, I think that those are the two versions that are most likely to see a buyout, if another buyout is going to happen, because it kind of looked like, the market price was pretty low, and it's kind of shot back up. But it's a really, really good card. If you picked it up when it was like $5, which is what I should have done, because I saw it at $5, I was like, oh, I should pick up that card, but I did not. Shout out to you. But I don't think the ship has completely sailed on Exciton Knight being a good or potentially good buy. Alrighty, let's take a look at Guardian Chimera. So Chimera was one of these cards with a long time, and like the branded stuff is kind of still expensive, but Guardian Chimera was kind of this thing that was keeping branded from not being like relatively budget, and it is a little bit more expensive now that it's a good deck again. But this is just a generically really good card. If we look at the Battle of Chaos version, I mean, this is obviously the best time to buy this. The price just nose-dove over the last month. It was $40 February 15th, and now, as of making this video, it is March 13th. And it's about $12 cheaper. I don't think it's going to stay there. I think it's going to go back over the $30 mark. I think this is a really good buy. But if we're looking at the newest version, the Maze of Memories version, this one's probably a little more receptive now. This one's super far down too. Yeah, it came out at 24, dropped all the way down at 10, and then the thing is though, as soon as this card, right before this card hit 10, people were like, okay, well, $10 for Guardian Chimera is insane value. So it's definitely going to be an $11 card soon, probably 12 soon. I think this is a fantastic. Both copies of Guardian Chimera are a fantastic buy. Like I always say though, you spend your money how you feel. Never let some random talking head, I went too far back, on the internet tell you what to say. But I will say, I have been buying and selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards for at least half a decade now. I don't know. The years start to just blend together after a while. So I think I'm pretty confident I know what I'm talking about. I think Guardian Chimera is a really good buy. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What cards in the entirety of Yu-Gi-Oh! Penny Stock or not are you looking forward to the most? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys click that like button, show your support for the channel. Subscribe for more content. But most importantly of all, have a good day.